Hi there, wig lover. This is Heather from CysterWIGs.com, and today I'm bringing you a review of a really popular Gabor wig called Soft and Subtle. The color that I'm wearing is one of my favorite reds, and I've reviewed this one before. This one is called Sangria, also known as GL33-130, which, as you can tell, even in this indirect light, is a really intense, bright, super fun kind of auburn. It's one of my favorite auburns, actually, because it doesn't really look like a natural color at all. It looks like natural plus. It looks a little bit like, as I've said in previous videos, sort of like Joan from Mad Men color. It's just really, really rich and saturated. It's like you just cranked up the hue a couple notches on your red. It's just beautiful. Since I talked about this one on the Opulence wig, I want to say, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the color, but I do want to show you how well it's blended. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Like all of the Gabor color palette, it's not necessarily highlighted. Instead, the colors are sort of mishmashed together. I mean, you could definitely tell that there's a variation of tone, and you can even tell that there's more than just those two colors, because a 130 is a really intense sort of natural auburn, so a really intense copper, and then the 33 is this darker tone. That's the natural dark auburn. But you can see there are like little bits of variation in between. It's not quite as dynamic as some of the Raquel Welch colors. As you might know, they're made by the same company. But, you know, Raquel Welch colors have even more colors. Like, they'll have some brunette shades in there, maybe even some blondes. So, I mean, their color palette is really intense. Gabor's colors tend to be a little bit more subdued, but I love this one because it's so saturated. So now that I've talked about the color again, I'd like to talk about this wig. Now, this wig comes in two cap sizes. It comes in average petite, and it also comes in average large. And because my head is big, my cap circumference is 23.5 inches. Because of that, I usually applaud companies that make an average large cap size, because those usually fit me perfectly, and this is no exception. This cap is uber comfortable. It's awesome. I love the Gabor average large cap size. It is literally perfection. I mean, my natural hair color is very dark, and when I've got the ear tabs completely centered, I mean, that coverage, you can still see a little bit of my sideburn poking out, but I mean, that is really good coverage there on the sides, all things considered. I do get a little bit of extra room here, but not so much extra space back here. I mean, there's a little bit, I can kind of grab it, you know, because the back of my head is not particularly big, you know, and the back of my head's kind of smooth. So because of that, I don't need a lot of extra space up here, but there is a little bit up there if you need it. I think that this wig is super comfy. I think this one is a great everyday wig because of how comfortable that cap is. You know, there's some wigs when I put them on where I'm like, oh, well, that's fun, you know, but like, for instance, Scarlet by John Renault. Let's talk about this for a second, because this is important. Those two wigs are so similar because they both have lace fronts. They're a similar style, similar length. They're compared to each other a lot. They put all these little baby hairs all over the top of the wig instead of permatease to try to get a little bit more volume into the cap. And the result is that the volume is a little bit less substantial than what you get here on this Soft and Subtle. You can see right away there's permatease in here, and that it's a little bit poofier than the Scarlet. But it's, you know, the trade-off is you get these little like baby hairs sometimes that'll stick up, particularly at the crown on the Scarlet, and I think that the lace front on this wig is surprisingly soft. It's very, very comfortable. It is very voluminous, and in fact, I feel like it's got almost too much hair, particularly right here. Right here, because I mean, it's already got that permatease, so it doesn't really need a lot of hair right here. So, all right. Now that I've gone ahead and given you my opinion of this wig, which is really positive overall, I really like this wig, and of this particular genre of cut, I think this one's one of the more comfortable ones. I'm going to go ahead and do a little 360 so you can see what this one looks like on all sides. Now this one does have a monofilament left-hand part. I'm not wearing a wig cap underneath this one because I'm keeping it. So for this particular review, I'm not wearing a wig cap because it's like 89 degrees out here. So I'm going to go ahead and just zoom in on this. Now I've got this pushed forward a little bit so you can see that lace front a little bit better. I'm going to pull this hair up because that helps you see the density a little bit better. So you can see that's pretty well threaded in there. That's where my natural hair pops in. But yeah, pretty well done. No complaints. I mean, I wish it had a little contour maybe right here like some lace fronts do, but other than that, that's a good lace front. And then you can see the dark here where my bio hair is, so just follow that line. That's the monofilament, and I'll show it to you again when I take the wig off my head. You can see here that this is where the permatease hits the cap, so it's like monofilament, 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 permatease, and there is a little bit of a bump here, and I'll show you that again when I take the wig off. So in fact, let me go ahead and do that now, so that way I can show you the interior of the cap. So here is the interior of the cap of the Soft and Subtle. So you can see it's got that perfectly rounded lace front. It is a seamless lace front into a monofilament side part. The permatease lives right here, and you get quite a bit of it, which is another reason why this wig has so much volume. It is open wefted on the back and sides. It's really nice and stretchy. Has a lovely extended felt nape with Velcro adjusters in the back. Ah, luscious. This is, I really like this wig. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you a couple of the areas where people might have problems. Because remember, this is a Gabor wig. Gabor wigs are not like super duper high-end wigs. You know, they're made to be like nice kicking around everyday wear wigs. And I think they do that job very well. Alright, so I'm going to pull this hair up at the crown so you can see, look at this. They do give you little bits of those baby hairs like they do in the Scarlet, but they cover it up better in the Soft and Subtle. You know, they put an extra track of hair in between the mono and the lace. Let me show you what I mean here. It's kind of hard to describe, but there is an extra track right up against that mono part that helps cover up those little hairs at the crown, and that's the only place where you're going to find those little hairs on this one. And so that just goes boom right over it, weighs it down so you don't ever see the little hairs sticking up. And if you do see them sticking up, just kind of brush the hair, and that should take care of it. So the crown area is really the only trouble area that I can think of in this particular wig. And I don't even think it's that big of a deal, especially after you wash it a couple times. Here's that luscious texture on here. We got a little bit of shedding. That's a brand new wig, so that doesn't really bother me too much. If I had a lot of shedding, then I'd be kind of concerned, but there's a lot of hair on here, so it could probably stand to lose a little bit. Beautiful texture. I love the Gabor colors. The hair fiber feels really nice. It's not the most natural feeling fiber on the market, but it looks really natural. Like even in direct light, it's not super duper shiny. It's a very nice synthetic fiber. This one goes on so easily because it's just perfect. It's like the baby bear of cap sizes for me. I'm gonna put that right up on my hairline. Make sure my ear tabs are going good. Ear tabs. And there you have it. Before I go, I want to talk a couple of specs here for you. The front on Soft and Subtle is 10.5 inches. That's quite long. Like, doesn't have a bang to it at all. I would consider this a classic bob with a wave to it. The crown is also 10.5 inches. The sides are 8 inches. The back is also 8 inches, and the nape is 5. So it's almost the same length all the way around. So my name's Heather. I'm from CysterWIgs.com. Hopefully you like my review. Check out the Soft and Subtle if you're looking for a nice, economically friendly, lace front, comfortable wig that comes in some nice in-between sizes. Again, it comes in an average petite and an average large cap size. If you're most people who have an average cap size should probably go with the average petite, just FYI. It's probably going to be a little bit more accommodating to you. It'll fit a little bit more snug because it does have these Velcro adjusters in the back that can be let in and out for about 3/4 of an inch. So you can always let it out. It's a little bit better that it fits a little bit snug than if it's loosey-goosey, because then it's gonna like roll around and it's just not gonna lay right. So again, Heather, CysterWIgs, awesome. Thanks for watching. Bye.